now the Maulana Sheikh Abdul-Rahim will give a speech to the public. I'm requesting you all to please be seated wherever you are. Nare! Muhammad wa ale Muhammad salawat.
My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بالحسين عليه السلام.
لبيك يا حسين.
لبيك يا حسين.
لبيك يا حسين.
لبيك يا حسين. My name is Abdul-Rahim Muhammad and I am the Imam of Masjid Al-Rasul, located in the historical community of the 5th Ward, Houston, a few minutes from here. Anyone who wants to know more about Islam, the Quran, Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam are welcome to come. We are at 3204 Jensen Drive. We read in the Holy Quran, chapter 103, the chapter of the time. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر. I swear by the time. إن الإنسان لفي خسر. The human being is indeed in loss. إلا الذين آمنوا, except those who believed. وعملوا الصالحات, and worked righteous actions. وتواصوا بالحق, and advised one another towards the truth. وتواصوا بالصبر, and advised one another towards forbearance. My dear brothers and sisters, was not Imam Hussain, peace be upon him, the example of this chapter of the Holy Quran? Imam Hussein's life was one of belief, righteous actions, continuous advisement toward truth and forbearance, because life is a continuity of struggle towards human and societal perfection. My dear brothers and sisters, people join the religion of Islam, and in particular the path of Prophet Muhammad and his purified progenies, descendants, when they become absolutely aware that Islam shows them how to solve their problems. When people see that Islam has comprehensive features such as an individual spiritual connection to God, the development of a righteous family, the formation of a righteous community, and the establishment of justice for everyone, they run towards Islam. When Imam Hussain stood up to Yazid, a tyrannical ruler of the time, refusing to give allegiance to such a person, he believed so strongly in Yazid being unfit to lead the nation that he was willing to lose his life and sacrifice the life of his family and friends to wake up the Muslim nation from disaster. Imam Hussain wanted to prevent the people from being complacent when unjust rulership takes hold, when the mafia of corruption props up tyrannical rule on false and misguiding slogans. The result of the people remaining silent to tyranny is that their wealth, honor, and society slowly decay till it is no more. Imam Hussain revived in us the Quranic principle of the establishment of justice, even if it is against ourselves. And Harvard University Law School acknowledged this. In the Quran, chapter 4, verse 135, it says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believed, kunu qawwamina bil qisti shuhada'a lillahi walau ala anfusikum. You must stand firm for justice as witnesses for Allah, even if it is against yourselves. Awil walidaini wal aqrabin, or against your parents or close relatives. In yakun ghaniyan aw faqira, fallahu awla bihima. Even if they are rich or poor, then Allah is still more worthy about them. This means that if the rich, do not protect them from facing justice, and if they be poor, you cannot feel sorry for them such that you do not establish justice. It continues, فَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا الْهَوَىٰ أَن تَعْدِلُوا. So do not let your lower self, your low desires, cause you to deviate from justice. وَإِن تَلْوُوا أَوْ تُعْرِضُوا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرًا. But if you distort the testimony, or you refuse to give it, then know that Allah, God, is certainly aware of what you do. This means that you will be held accountable by Allah, by God. You may get away with it in this life, but Allah, God, accounts everything. My dear brothers and sisters gathered here and in downtown Houston, the claim of limited government, i.e. that government should only protect my right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When a small number of people have the means to exploit the resources of society and control the wealth, this is a recipe for enslavement and poverty. And the claim that government should legislate to the extent that people are no longer free to call the government to account for its misdeeds is a concoction that will only lead to tyrannical and fascist rule. The government's responsibility to its people who pay for and elect representatives to manage it is to ensure all people under custodial authority are treated equally and not to create numerous classes in society which increase inequities and create a permanent underclass. My dear brothers and sisters, we must reform our society. This is the place we live, and it is the place we call home. We must hold government accountable for the injustices it has enacted. We must call them to their duty to establish balance and order for all people regardless of their background. The message of Imam Hussain is truly colorblind, and that message is the true Islamic message, which is to right all wrongs in society and establish justice within our communities and society at large. Imam Hussein's message was for all of us to remind government that it is a servant of the people and not the other way around. That government is supposed to protect all of its people, that corporate greed should be put in check, that we are all one people, and that no one is above the law. Imam Hussain drove a wedge in the mafia of society that tried to oppress the people through illicit means. Imam Hussain exposed their fallacy and their double dealings, the same as Jesus, the Christ, overturning the tables of the money changers, the bankers who suck the blood out of companies, rendering people toward greater poverty, while they make trillions of dollars in the process. Look at the short sellers in the stock market, ruining companies, while corporate executive teams make millions. When the people study true Islam, the Islam of Imam Hussain, which is the Islam of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family, they will see that Islam is the only religion that solves people's problems. Malcolm X, Allah's mercy be upon him, said decades ago that Islam can solve the race problem in America. The Islam of Imam Hussain cares for every human being, not just the rich or a particular family. The people must understand, and we must express to them in our daily activities, that Imam Hussain is the culmination of the mission of Prophet Muhammad to inform all people that a government must establish justice, that a government must take care of all its people, ensuring that no one is oppressed and that oppressors are brought to justice regardless if they are rich or poor. The government must ensure that everyone, regardless of their background or disposition, must be provided with a means to attain an education based on truth, be given access to acquire wealth through lawful means, because the treasury of the government is at the disposal of the people to be dispensed with justice. The government must be informed The government must be informed that Allah, God says in the Holy Quran, وَالصُّلْحُ خَيْرٌ, that reconciliation, having a truce is best. That war is only justified as a last means to stop a true imminent threat, not a falsified evil. And that it should never be used to oppress, kill, and dominate others. Today, my dear brothers and sisters, and on the day of Ashura, this coming Friday, we renew our allegiance to Imam Hussain and the Imam of our time. We renew, my brothers and sisters, our allegiance to Imam Hussain and the Imam of our time, and we resolve to work tirelessly in the pursuit of justice and equity for all in America. We will advise our political leaders from the local counties to the cities, to the states, and the federal government toward making society one that leaves no one behind and provides every inhabitant with a means to achieve their greatest aspirations, which help to better humanity. And we will all say together in one loud voice, Labbaik ya Hussein! Labbaik ya Hussein!